I am joined by combat sports pioneer, visionary, the founder of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Mr. David Feldman. How are you, sir?
Doing good, my man. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing good as well. Nice to speak with you once again. You have a huge card coming up, BKFC 56 on December 2nd in Salt Lake City. You have Mike Perry taking on Eddie Alvarez. That makes me so nervous. Can you just kind of reflect on what it's been like having to scratch and claw your way to get sanctioned just 4 or 5 years ago to now? I mean, you're bringing in the big names, you've done soccer stadiums. I mean, you really have paved the way for every other bare knuckle combat sport. So, can you kind of just reflect on what this journey has been like?
Hey, man. I always talk to my team and I go, man, but people don't see this. They don't see what you go through. They don't see all this stuff. And then I go, yeah, but guys, man, they're not supposed to. They're supposed to see this nice, beautiful, shiny, you know, project that we're giving them. This nice little, you know, event. Like they have to see it beautiful and flawless. And we do deal with everything that happens in the background, and people don't understand, the trials and tribulations that it takes. And it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Your sleepless nights, worrying if this fight's going to fall out, getting this guy to sign, so many different things that you just don't see. Funding, people think that it's easy. They see sellout arenas, they see this, they don't understand the money that it takes to really make a promotion go. And especially someone like us who really bootstrapped this thing and didn't take in a lot of big investors, kind of wanted to keep a big chunk of it ourselves. And now it's come to that time where we're going to bring on some significant investors to really blow this thing up. But it's been an amazing journey. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of roller coasters. But I mean, I think we kept ourselves above water, and we are very, very much talked about in all the combat sports realm now.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say, would you say funding is maybe the biggest obstacle next to getting sanctioned that you just constantly have to deal with? Or what would you say is like the number
And
one?
it probably getting sanctioned first, for the first year or two was the hardest, and now it's funding, and it's only funding because we're expanding so fast. Like we're going everywhere, we're doing so many shows, and then cash flow, right? So cash flow is like you don't get paid from things that you did in April until July or August. So that, but you have six more shows that you have to do from then to then. So that becomes an issue, but we have a lot of interested parties in us that really want to take this journey, take this ride with us, and we're making it happen, and we're just putting on a show, and people are going, how are they doing that? And how are they doing that? And we're just figuring a way to do it. I get a lot less nervous now, a lot more stressed, but a lot less nervous. I just figured out, man, that's what we're doing. We're gonna figure it out, man, because it's too good of a product, not to really. And I think that people like it, the fans like it. I think it's more relatable than anything else out there in the world. And we have like I think the old saying is, I didn't come this far just to come this far.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No joke. You just had BKFC Thailand go off, Bokau and Sanchai, which wasn't on my bingo square, right? Like, who
Yeah.
saw that coming in a special rules match, right? First
Yeah.
ever BKFC bare knuckle Muay Thai fight.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
It,
nuts.
it was good. I mean, look, it got a total of like 3.8 million live views, which is incredible. And to date, about I don't know, I think we're up to like almost 180 million views on that right now in less than a week. So it was phenomenal from that perspective. We came out with bare knuckle fighting because we wanted to be different, and we wanted people to hear the knuckles hitting the face. And I loved the fight. I thought it was great, but I'm not sure that I think it took away from the punches. And I think the punches are the things that makes this thing so significant. Not saying we can't do that as well, but I don't think we're going to add that into our repertoire, right? It might be something we do separately, bare knuckle Muay Thai,
Mm.
and do what we're doing with BKFC. Yeah, I mean, it's something that we got a lot of a lot of really good feedback from. So we'll see what's going on in the coming months.
I remember 4 years ago, I was interviewing you, and I asked you if BKFC would kind of pave the way for bare knuckle MMA. And if you thought we would see the rise of bare knuckle MMA, and you did, and you were right, and here we are. Um, and BKFC is bare knuckle fighting championship. It's not bare knuckle boxing. Like, you just had your Muay Thai rules. Do you think we'll ever see a BKFC MMA match? Or is that too
Um,
far away?
I'm I think big bare knuckle MMA is good. Not taking anything away from anybody, but I think that the reason why I created bare knuckle was to keep the excitement going. And I think that in bare knuckle MMA, I think that once a guy lands a punch, like in BKFC, for instance, they have to stand and bang. There's nothing else that you can do. You got to stand and bang. And if you don't stand and bang, you lose, right? You're going to lose the fight. In bare knuckle MMA, however, you get hit with a bare knuckle punch, you could take the guy down right away, and you don't have to stand and bang. And then you can go into your jiu-jitsu moves, which are great, right? Fantastic sport, awesome. But I think it takes away from some of the excitement that I created with BKFC. So I'm never going to say never, because, as things evolve, you're going to see what happens. I'm not 100% sure yet. I just know that we didn't grow BKFC itself to where we wanted to grow yet to actually add those things into our repertoire yet.
Definitely understandable. And I kind of feel like I do see a lot more grappling in bare knuckle MMA than regular MMA. It was
It was
counterproductive.
weird because I was actually partners with them for the first two events that they did. And then they had a split up internally with some things they were doing. And I was just like, you know what? It was cool, man, but it wasn't super, super exciting. And some of the fights are and some of them aren't. It just really depends what you're looking for and what kind of fan you are, right? Like my sport, it's not for everybody. And bare knuckle MMA is not for everybody, right? And Muay Thai is not for everybody. That's why everybody created all these new different versions of combat sports, because there's select fans, and there is a lot of crossover fans, but not everything out there is for everybody.
Are you open to doing maybe other cross promotions with different leagues?
Yeah.
Maybe to get some of their people over here. I know not everyone's up for that. I know the UFC did it a long time ago with Pride, and when Chuck went over there and got messed up by Rampage, they kind of never did that again. But we see it. Bellator did it plenty of times in Ryzen, so it definitely happens. Is that something you're open to, or?
Yeah, we're actually in talks with some other promotions right now. I mean, Bellator lent us a few fighters. I mean, I have no problem with any other promotion. I think that's the one thing that you can always hear about me. I'm not saying this promotion, we're better than this, man. We stay in our own lane. We're just trying to worry about what we can do. And if these other promotions are going to give us an opportunity to partner with them, to get their fans to watch what we do, we're all over that.
No, I love that. It sounds like an abundance mentality.
Hey.
Um, can you think of one way in which the UFC indirectly helps BKFC, and one way it indirectly hurts the promotion?
I mean, UFC, Hunter Campbell was nice enough to lend us a few of their fighters as well. So, you know, thank you to them for that. And I think that just what they did for combat sports has to help any other combat sport promotion out there, because they have such a stronghold on it. And I think it really helps everything. And the only thing I'm going to say that it hurts us is the fact that, when we go up against them on some events, it's not a good result for us, right?
Right.
I mean,
Understandable.
they've never said or done anything to go out of their way to hurt us, and we've never said or done anything to go out of our way to hurt them. Look, say what you want about Dana White and this lawsuit and everything that they're doing, but I mean, they took it from nothing and they built it into a global phenomenon. So hats off to them for that.
100%. Oh, 100%. I mean,
Yeah,
we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation if it weren't for what Dana White has done for combat
100%,
sports.
100%. Yep.
But back to BKFC, Salt Lake City, Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez, and I watched their face off the other day. And what'd you think of the body shots during the
I mean,
face off?
I thought it was kind of fun. It was different, and then I saw the look on Eddie Alvarez's face, and I was like, "All right, guys, you guys are done," because this
Right.
thing was about to start banging, like really banging, and I was like, "We got to save this for 3 weeks from now." But it was good to know that they were able to put on a little bit of a show there and get people interested. I think people were interested in it. I think initially people were like, Mike Perry's going to walk through Eddie Alvarez, right? And I think that, you know, as you heard Eddie Alvarez at the press conference, I won 3 different titles. I've I have knockouts. You haven't had a knockout in this amount of time. Like, I mean, he made a lot of good, valid points to prove that it should be an entertaining, even matchup, right? And is Mike Perry too big for him? A lot of people think he is. Eddie Alvarez has been there with everybody. I mean, anyone that says that he's going to walk right through Eddie Alvarez, and he might, is probably is saying the wrong thing, because I mean, this is a guy that's been in there with everybody. He's won
Mhm.
championships in every major organization around. So, I take my hat off to him because he asked for this fight. This wasn't like I said, yo, you want to fight Mike Perry? He's like, Dave, if I fight again, the only one I want to fight is Mike Perry. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so and is that kind of what you do with either of them? You only put them in there with maybe established names and people who are also big draws?
Yeah, I think that, at this, it might be changing a little bit now, but when I started with the bigger names, I think at that stage, it's like, I got to put him in with another name that people recognize, because putting him in with a name that they don't really recognize doesn't get them very excited, right? And I want new fans to get excited, come over and watch that fight. And while they're watching that fight, as they did in April, we've got so many new fans from that, because they were like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. What an amazing show. It was great production, fights from start to finish. So I think that is kind of the model, but can we veer from that a little bit? We can, but it's working right now. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I mean, you brought in Luke Rockhold. Again, didn't have that on my bingo square, like on my card. I didn't see that coming, but it was exciting and it got people talking. And Mike Perry did what Mike Perry does. He's
I mean, he's so unpredictable. You wouldn't expect this. I mean, nobody thought that he was going to give MVP the fight he gave him, and you know, it's amazing. And then he literally walked right through Luke Rockhold. And Eddie Alvarez had a good point. Look, Luke Rockhold's not a bare knuckle fighter. We get that, but he still was a former UFC light heavyweight champion. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, and he gets through Eddie. That's a former UFC lightweight champion.
Yep.
It's like you need to make a Mike Perry division,
All right. I
his
know.
own the
For
own Mike
real.
Perry belt.
Yeah, but he's great to work with. He gets it. He knows how to promote. He knows what to say. He's unpredictable, and he comes to bang.
So, do you think this will be Eddie Alvarez's last match?
Um, you know, I mean, it really depends on the outcome, right? If Eddie comes out on top, we definitely have one more that we're gonna do. We're gonna, fingers crossed, Pennsylvania opens up any day, and we give him a homecoming here in Philly. That's what I'd like to do. And if he, doesn't want to fight any, again, then he had a hell of a career. I mean, he fought everybody everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the originators, Bodog. I mean, he's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
doing this since the beginning. So hats off to him. And of course, he's a Philly boy, man. I had to get him on there. I had to have a top Philly guy on there, being from Philly. So it was awesome.
I'm not even sure if you're allowed to speak on this, but what are some names that you're seeking out that you like? You have to see these people in BKFC. Like, are there
You
certain
know,
names where it's like, I need these people?
really just free agents. Just any free agent that's really popping up. We're in the market for everybody. We really are in the market for everybody. Now, doesn't mean everybody that becomes a free market we're in the market for, because if they're more of a jujitsu guy and they don't want to stand and bang, we're not in the market for them, right? They have to be able to move the needle for us. And just because they move the needle for us doesn't mean they would move for someone else, right? So
True.
it's different for us. It has to be that guy or that girl that goes, wow, they're fighting bare knuckle. I gotta watch that, right? Not just saying, he's fighting bare knuckle too. That doesn't really move the needle. So it's got to be the right kind of guy. But really, boxing world champions right now, there's a few we're in talks with right now, because a lot of the promotions in boxing are having some issues right now, finding some television time and things like that. So, really, Eddie in the market for everybody, man.
Awesome.
Everybody.
So you'd be open for like a Jake Paul or someone in that vein?
Anything. Look, it's going to bring eyeballs. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
going to put a Jake Paul, not Jake Paul, but a Jake Paul type of guy that can't fight at all in here. I'm going to put someone that can fight. If they can fight and they can bring viewers, I'm all in. All in.
Awesome. I watch. I know that. So what's let me get like a 5-year plan for BKFC. Like, where do you see so much has happened in the last 5 years? Like it's really miraculous. Like from where you were 5 years ago to where you are now. What's the next 5 years going to look like?
I think certainly a TV deal is coming in the next, 6 to 12 months, 100%. We're talking to a lot of different networks, reality shows in the making. Those things are things, and the reason why I brought them up, not that that makes us up there. Those things will attract the viewers and give them an opportunity to follow the fighters, and that will put us up there. I really truly think because it's so relatable to everybody. Like everybody knows what a bare knuckle punch is. They all do. Everybody, man, woman, child, doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter who you are. You know what it is. It's relatable. I think we can be the number two combat sport promotion in the world in 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. I really do. I don't think we'll ever be number one, and maybe we will, but I don't think we will. I mean, UFC has a strong hold on this, and I don't see them going away anytime soon. They do a hell of a job. So, but hey, man, if I could come from nothing, scratch and claw my way up to number two, number three position in combat sports, I think we did a hell of a job.
Yeah, I'll co-sign on that, and you're definitely on your way.
Yeah.
Well, how can people tune in to BKFC 56? What's the best way to watch?
All right, just go to the app bkfc.com. This event is on pay-per-view. It's going to be on all the cable and satellite providers in the United States and Canada. It's also going to be available on Fight TV, but you can get all that information at bkfc.com. As well as, if you're in the area, grab some tickets at bkfc.com. We have a few tickets left. Probably about, I think we're about 65% sold out right now, but it's going to be an unbelievable fight. And if you've never been to bare knuckle and you want to hear that, tune in, bkfc.com.
It is a visceral sound like no other. I can attest to it. It is unlike
Absolutely.
anything else.
Yep.
Well, David Feldman, thank you so much for joining me. BKFC 56, Salt Lake City, Utah, December 2nd. It's on the horizon. I wish you nothing but continued success in everything you do.
Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.